Getting ready for another day, Doordash, guys. Gonna head out here in just a little bit, but that makes it hard to leave. All right, guys. Well, it's about that time. Nap time for some. But time to head out for another dash. I'm headed to Dash. I love you. I'll see you after a while. Huh? I'm headed out to DoorDash. I love you. I'll see you after a while.
You too.
If you could, before we get started, if you could go ahead and smash that like button and go ahead and give me a subscribe, I'd appreciate it. All right, well, we're heading out for our Wednesday dash. This is the ride that we go in. Not exactly the most impressive thing. It's a little tiny car. More on that in a minute. So, as we drive out to our spot, just left the house, It's going to be about 10-15 minutes before we get where I'm going, but I showed you the car I was driving. It's not much, but you don't necessarily need much, One of the things you have to do when you're trying to get ahead is you got to make some decisions that you might not necessarily like. And it's nothing that's going to harm you or anything like that. It's just something you might not enjoy as much. So you see what I'm driving. When I decided to start door dashing, I started out dashing in my truck, in my pickup truck. I had a Chevy Silverado, and I started dashing in that. And to say that it was not exactly economic to do that is an understatement. Talking about like 12 miles to the gallon. So, all my profits were, so much of my profits were being chewed up by gas. So I made a decision to purchase this little car. And on top of the fact that it was a lot of gas, it was just putting so many miles on my truck. Taking the value of it, and just, the more you drive it, the more wear and tear it has. So I got this little car. It's just a little Prius C. And I started dashing in it. And I make a small payment on it, not a whole lot. And to do that was actually saving me money to get this car and make a payment on it than it was to drive my truck. Because I get 45 miles to the gallon in this thing, and I was saving, like I said, more than I was paying. And so I've been driving this for a little over a year now. I did it in my truck for a couple months, and then I started driving in this, and it got to where my truck, I was only driving it to work and home, and that was really about it. And my work is literally like a mile and a half from my house, so I'm just driving it that little bit. And it got to the point where, what was the point? I decided, so I had to make a decision. I didn't have to I decided to make a decision on it, and there was no point in having it. With me about to retire and move all the way across the country here pretty soon, we had too many cars for my family to drive anyway. It just didn't make any sense. So I decided to sell my truck. And it broke my heart to sell my truck because I loved it, but it just didn't make financial sense to keep it. Paying insurance on it, yeah, it's paid off, but it's not brand new anymore. Some little things going wrong with it here and there that I have to fix. And it just made sense to sell it, drive this little car until I move. And right before I move, I'm going to sell this car too, because there's no sense in a whole family driving a bunch of cars across the country. And we'll just all ride together and save that money that way. To me, it's just about sacrifice. To get where you need to be, to get ahead, you got to sacrifice. You sacrifice now so that you can have what you want later. when I get back to Arkansas and I get out there, I'm going to buy me a truck, one that I love, and I can do without for about 9 months. That's a short time in the grand scheme of things. So it's one tip that I will give, especially for you younger people, to realize that you don't have to have everything all at once. Sacrifice now, and it's going to set you up for the future. You know, don't wait till you're 46 like me to really start investing in yourself. Put something away while you're young. You know, it'll compound over time. You know, start at 20 to 25, somewhere in there. Start investing, let it compound over time. Even if it's just $100-$200 a month, you'd be amazed what it'll get you over the span of your lifetime. All right, got our snack. It's about 5:30. Still waiting on our first order, so hopefully it'll come soon. All right, well, 5:35, and we got our first order. First one that I accepted. I turned down a couple of $7 orders. This one's $9.75 to go 5.9 miles. Not the best. A lot of times I would decline it, but since it's the first one, usually when it's early like this, you kind of take the first decent one you get. So this one's decent, so I accepted it. Later on, I might not have done it, but we'll take this one. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky and get a stack order on top of it, but it's for Five Guys burgers, and I'm pulling in there now. I've already got the shake.
You already got it? Oh, you already got it?
Yeah, you gave it to me on time.
Oh, I didn't know, sorry.
Well, that was extremely frustrating. After a 15-minute wait, I go in there and ask them how much longer it's going to be, and it was ready. It was just sitting up there. They just didn't call it out or give it to me. Had a milkshake, been sitting there. So that gets annoying when restaurants do stuff like that. But while I was in there, I accepted an Uber Eats order. Nice $13 order from Amici's. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to go pick up this order and we'll be back. Alright, picked up this order, and while I was in there, I got a stack order from Uber Eats for it. So I'm going to go drop off the Doordash order, then we'll go pick up the second order from Uber Eats and get those delivered. So just dropped off the Doordash order and get out here and there's no reception, so I can't even put it in that I've delivered it. Probably going to show me as late. By the time I get where I got reception, I'll probably be out of range to be able to accept it. I'm going to have to call. It's going to be a pain in the butt. I hope that doesn't happen. Maybe I'll get some reception real quick. That's frustrating. All right, luckily I got reception right away, so that wasn't too bad. I was worried it was going to be bad. You know, for anybody wondering, I think probably the hardest part of being a Doordash driver is just having patience. Frustration from other people is what makes this the hardest job. You know, from going to the restaurants and waiting 15 minutes for an order and it's sitting there and they don't even care. They don't care about the Doordash drivers. You know, they don't make money off of us. And then, you know, try and get out of the parking lot and nobody will stop and let you back out, and you wait a few minutes there before you can actually back out of the parking lot. It's just the selfishness that people have in this world, the drivers. You know, everybody cuts you off, and anymore anybody's got to run red lights and weave, and they have to be ahead of you. Maybe it's just the old man in me, but that's my biggest frustration with this job. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be that old man one day sitting on his front porch yelling, "Get off my lawn," to all the kids, because as I age, I think I get grumpier and grumpier. But I don't know, all the selfishness in this world just drives me insane. right, just dropped off both those Uber Eats orders. And this last one, he was a super nice guy. I've delivered to him multiple times. He's always the nicest guy, always leaves a good tip. Only thing about Uber Eats is you can't see your tip for an hour. I mean, you know what you're promised up front, but sometimes there's even more. But this was a $14 order up front, so I can't complain about that whatsoever. I like that Uber Eats pays by the mile, so that's kind of a cool thing. On average, their orders I get more from their orders, but I just don't get nearly as many Uber Eats orders here as I do Doordash. I'm talking 1 or 2 a night usually. So got a little stack order from them there, so that's real helpful. Took about an hour to deliver all those 3 because I had to wait that 15 minutes, but it paid me about $30, so I can't complain too much about that. I like a little bit better than that, but that's okay. I'm doing all right. Yeah. So we're on our way to see for the next one. Guys, we got our next order. It's not too bad. I'll take that all day long. How far away? 4.2 miles going up there. All right. Headed to pick it up. All right, we picked up that order. Got about a 7-minute drive. Hopefully there'll be a hidden tip on that. I don't know if there will be on this one, but it might be. Didn't get a stack order. Kind of hope for one, but that's all right. I'm gonna go drop this off. All right, got that one dropped off. Not too bad. Gonna head back, see what we can do for the next one. In the meantime, thought I'd drop a little gem for you guys. Something that you probably have all heard, but I heard it too, but I learned the hard way. If you want to keep your finances in order, separate checking accounts. And I know, I thought the same thing that you guys are thinking. My wife or my husband would never do anything. They would never, abuse that. And I thought the same thing with my first marriage. I was working, she wasn't, so I trusted her with the finances. And before long, I was getting paid, and after my paycheck, I was still negative. I even did a tour in Iraq, and when you get deployed, that's when service members really make money, because we don't have taxes, we don't have as many bills and such. So I thought I was saving all this money, and after 4 or 5 months in Iraq, I get back and I have no money whatsoever. So that's, I think, a must-do for any couple. My wife that I now have, she didn't agree with it at first. And it's not that I didn't trust her. It's not that you don't trust yours. It's just in y'all's best interest. And now she agrees. She understands. And yours will too after time. So that's the best thing to do. It's better for the marriage, and it'll keep you out of debt a little bit longer, help you stay out of debt, help you keep from getting in trouble. Is no joint checking account. You may be a joint savings if you want to, but separate checking accounts. It's in everybody's best interest, I promise you. As you can see, while I was picking up my Uber Eats order, I got a stack order that was too good to turn down. So I went ahead and accepted that. I got this Uber Eats order. It's only 4 minutes away. I'm going to go drop it off real quick and then go pick up that stack order. So I dropped off that Uber Eats order, and extremely annoying, extremely rude, and just thoughtless. The house, you could probably tell from the picture, had no lights whatsoever. I could not see anything where I was leaving the food. I almost tripped and fell on the steps. Couldn't see anything. So for anybody that orders Uber Eats or Doordash, leave a light on for your delivery driver, because that's dangerous and just rude and thoughtless. Just got an Uber Eats order, gonna do that also. It's kind of on the way, so it's really helpful. It's a nice $14 order to go along with the $17 order I'm doing now. It was a slow night, but these last two are gonna help out a lot. God, I hate apartments and trying to find where I need to go. So I'm on deliver my last two. They're fairly close to each other. I normally wouldn't take them because they're quite a ways away. One was 15 minutes, one was 18 minutes, but they're on the way home. These are going to be my last two orders of the night. They're taking me almost home, so that's the reason I'm taking them. Sometimes you might get one that's a little bit more and shorter distance, but it actually goes in the opposite direction. It's all about trying to make the most out of your time, so get me home quicker, make a few bucks, and I get to see my family that much, a little bit more. It's not a ton more, but an extra 15 minutes with my daughter, with my son, with my other kids, with my wife, who wasn't even home when I left to go on shift. It adds up. Just like the money adds up, the time adds up. So you try and make the most of what you got, and I think I've done a pretty good job of it. And we're going to get these two knocked out, and then we'll see how we did for the night. All right, guys, after we dropped off that last order, which, once again, no lights, I couldn't see anything. So frustrating. Anyway, made $47 on DoorDash and $44 with Uber Eats tonight. So, what is that, $91 total? Not too bad. I'll take that. I can't complain too much, and that's all I'm going to do for the night. So let's head home. So after making 91 tonight, that's pretty much an average night for me. On a Wednesday night, I can't complain too much. And then last night, on a Tuesday night, it was slow. I made 69, and that was kind of disappointing, but you can't get too frustrated. Some nights are like that, and then you're going to have nights where just blow it out of the water. You make $100, $120, and like I keep saying over and over, it's just patience. Everything is all about patience, and you're going to get your goals no matter what they are. Eventually, you'll get them. Just don't get frustrated, don't get down, and keep plugging away, and you'll be surprised after a while. You'll be right where you think you need to be, you know. And that's in anything. That's paying your bills. That's getting something paid off. That's how much money you make, how much money you're able to save, and so forth. Just keep going, keep going. You're going to have bad days, but you're going to have good days. And just remember the good days and keep moving forward. And in the end, it'll all work out for you as long as you take the steps that you know you need to take. Here we are, another night down. Do me a favor. Please give me a like. Just give me a subscribe. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Let's see if anybody's waiting up for me. I hear the dog. Not quite the welcome I got yesterday. Hey, Bray. She's a little preoccupied. Y'all have a good night.